When I was a small child in school, we didn't have computers. Computers were the size of pianos. But as I was approaching middle school age, a few years before this picture was taken, our school started to get these computers, Apple IIs. My father being a teacher, he brought one home one summer and I was able to play it. Because I can't stop buying things on eBay, I have recently bought a pair of Apple IIes. One has all the keys, but they don't work, and one is missing one of the shift keys. But it works apart from that. Here's what I'm going to show. The first video game that I ever played. When I was very small, if I'd gone to the arcade, I might well have seen Space Invaders. Of course, I never got to see this, but people had Atari 2600s, and if I wanted to play Space Invaders there, I could. But what happened here was if you stayed after school because your father was a teacher, kids would have discs with knockoffs of all the arcade favorites. So here's what I have now. I have this Apple IIe, I have a disk drive, and I have no discs. Fortunately, Apple IIes also work from cassette drive. With a cassette drive, all the data to load the game would be stored as sounds, beautiful sounds like this. And there'd be ports on the back of the computer like basically microphone or earphone jacks, and you would be able to put that sound in and the computer would understand it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I don't have discs, but I have a phone, and people on the internet have been kind enough to put those sounds up. So I'm going to grab the Space Invaders clone that I believe was the first arcade game that I ever played on an Apple II. First you'd fire up the Apple II, and it would use the disk drive. But I have no disks, so I'm going to Control Reset to interrupt that operation. Now on my phone, I'm going to get the sound file of the Space Invaders clone, which they cleverly called Stellar Invader. And I'm going to tell the computer load. And the computer is listening for some sound to come in. So I simply play that out of my phone. The computer has been told here comes a file, so it's beeping and listening. Loading Stellar Invader. Estimated time of arrival 22 seconds. So, you know, with a disk it would work slightly differently, but exactly the same file. I'd be sitting in the library at school, hoping that no teachers walked by and had a problem with us playing games on computers, because computers were not for games, they were for very serious educational math and spelling activities. And here's Apple, Stellar Invaders, suddenly it's Invaders, and Cracker Jack has cracked it for us. So I press return. Yeah, let's see the instructions by Mark Allen. You know, it's a pretty simple concept, but apparently it takes even more words to explain that simple concept. Am I using the game controller? No, and at school we never had game controllers. Do you want sound effects? Yes, I would love sound effects. So it's drawing this, and just like when I was a kid, I'd have to figure out what do the different keys do. So, F is right, explodey. F is right, D is left, J is fire, and that's what you need. Not really that good at it. Really not that good at it. Estimated time of arrival 9 seconds. Inflating. Okay, so don't think I'm going to go for expert player mode. I'm going to go for keyboard mode. I know that one of these shoots. This turns, that shoots. Now I need to find what moves forward. That moves forward. So I've got the controls figured out. Waiting for a new ship. Give me my ship. Patience. There is the ship. Shooting. Turning. How about we turn? Oh. But of course, one of the games that we all wanted to play was Pac-Man. Could you get Pac-Man for the Apple? Yes, you could. Now there was all sorts of knockoffs like Appleman, Munchman, Chompman, Chomper. This file says it's actually Pac-Man, so we'll have a look and see if that's what it is. We play with keyboard, which is what we need. How about a normal keyboard? Well, that's lovely. Pac-Man. This looks suspiciously unlike the other Pac-Man. Shadow, Bashful, Speedy, Pokey, or Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. 1983. So this would come a bit later. How about one player instead of 5 players? Return to play. Once again, I have no idea which keys do what. So back and forth. Play up and down or not up and down. I have no idea how to go up and down. Here's what I'm going to have to do. Press all... Oh, I found how to go... X is down. Or no, X isn't down. X is not down. It's Z this down. So now that I've got X and Z, I assume A is up. It is up. And I can navigate the maze just fine. But I'm in a wee bit of trouble here. I'm cornered. Game over. Now that I know what the keys are, one player still, and return to play. So I'm going to cleverly wait here for some ghost monsters to come. Oh, and I screwed up. Not that clever. Actually a little hard to play with keys. So draw them out. Go up. Get them. And now it's not safe to get them. That's Pac-Man for Apple.